Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you for being on here. I'm so excited that Nikki's going to be here. She's actually waiting in the wings. I can see her. She can see me. I see her sitting down. She's on the boat. We were trying to get this together so she and I could talk a little bit beforehand. So I'm going to let her relax. And now I know how she is because she knows how I am. I'm going to let her relax, get the camera where she needs to be because she's on her phone. I was about to text her and I'm like, look, we can do this on with your voice on. I don't care. Or I could just like hold the phone up like this and go, here's Nikki. This is her. And just do a Facebook Messenger. You look great, Nikki. So let me say hi to everybody first. And I'm going to gently bring Nikki on. So you all set, Nikki? Just give me a thumbs up. Okay, she's all set. All right. So I'll introduce her in a couple minutes, but I'm going to say hello to all of you first, okay? And thank you all for being here. Please like, follow, share. And Nikki's amazing. Scott's amazing. Their wonderful life is amazing. It's all amazing, isn't it? Okay. Please hold callers. There you are. It's so good to see you. Hang on. Let me just fix something real quick. There we go. Okay. So let's say hi to everybody so everybody can say hello. Nikki says hello to Nikki. That's great. Mary McCormick, hello. Good to see you. Courtney, hello. Connie, hello. Lori, hello. Robin Martin, hello. Tammy, hello. Emmy, hello, hello, hello. Good to see you. I love the new picture, by the way. Stephanie, hello. Good to see you. Willow and Harry want to say hello as well. Hello, Priscilla. Thank you, our moderator for the evening. Kimberly, hello. Hello. Russell says hello. I'm going to put Nikki because I can hear a background of me. I'm going to put the earbud in so that way you don't hear the back up. Yeah, that's good. Love and Light, hello. Good to see you. Mara, hello. Crystal, oh my God. Look at all the people that you brought in, sister. Crystal says hello. Does Elias's voice sound different or is it my phone? I hope it's your phone. Diane, Sister Sledge, good to see you. Joy and Connie and Mary. Timo Canis, Mary Posisa. Hi, Nikki, you're perfect. Isn't she? She's good. Sydney, hello. Irma. Hi, Irma. And Rebecca, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Loretta and Little Moon Warrior from TikTok. Thank you for being here. Linda, hello. So hi, Brandy. Linda and Susan. Hey, Susan. Good to see you, my friend. Good to have you here. Christina from Orlando. Good to see you. And to Laura, greetings. Wants to seize the day. That's cute. That's cute, to Laura. That would be totally a dad joke that my dad would take. Hello, Kathleen. Melly, hello. Voice is good now. And Mary says Policala, which means all is good. She's doing well. Nikki, hi.
Hello, Elias.
Good to see you. So let me tell you guys about my wonderful, wonderful, wonderful friend, Nikki. Nikki was introduced to me by my ex, and Nikki and I hit it off. I mean, it was just like, I did a massage for you, did I not?
You did. You were checking me out, though, is what you said.
I was checking her out. I'm like, hey, no. So, I told her some stuff that was going on in the body, energetically, that physical manifestation that happens from the emotional piece, and I just looked at her and I'm like, you need to come on a retreat. And Nikki being Nikki, okay, no, just like sure, go for it. And you guys, Nikki was a medical interpreter for the deaf. So she was busy, 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 busy. She did the retreat. She did several retreats. She did the apprenticeship program that we did. And she did that for a whole year. And then she did amazingly by assisting on retreats. And hopefully one of these days, guys, we're going to do a retreat on Nikki's boat. But without further ado, Sarah from the UK, thank you for being here. I know it's late. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning there.
And Connie, hello. Irma says good. Nita says, miss you, but so happy for you both. Thanks, Nita. Hi, April. Good to see you, April. So good to see you. And Kat from TikTok. Good to see you guys. Hello, Betty. So, Nikki, tell everybody a little bit about your story. About how did this happen?
How did this happen? So I did work in as a medical sign language interpreter for somewhere between 25 and 30 years, depends on how you want to count it. And there's something about working in emergency medicine and working in hospice work and working with people who had just had a heart attack or a stroke. And I heard a lot of the, I wish I woulda, coulda, I shoulda, and it's really heartbreaking, being with people on some of the worst days of their life when they wish they had lived their life differently. Mm-hmm. And I just knew in my heart of hearts, and I loved my work. Loved the work that I did. Really enjoyed living in Chicago. Didn't love the winters so much, but Chicago has a lot to offer. And I just, but I loved working with the deaf community. I absolutely love working in medicine, but I just, you sit with so many people at their darkest hour and you listen to their stories. And I just came home to my husband one day and said, honey, I don't know what we're going to do, but we have to live life differently. Working paycheck to paycheck, just working to pay the bills, to clean the house, to go back to work. Being in the regular cycle of life just wasn't working for me anymore, or I knew that that's not what I wanted to do my whole life. And thankfully, he loves me enough. He's crazy enough. He said, okay, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, honestly, I don't know. I don't have an answer. I just know that this isn't it until I retire or die or however that looks. And so, we thought about it a few days and he came back to me and said, he said, well, what, actually at that time, he said, well, what do you want? I said, well, I just want to live by the water. I'd grown up on the Mississippi River. I was always a water baby in a way, and just said, and I lived for that tropical vacation. If I could take a vacation a week in a year and go someplace warm and by the water, in the water, whatever, I was happy. So I said, I'll live on a cardboard box on the beach and serve coffee or ice cream. I don't care. I just want to live by the water. And so he said, okay. He thought about it a couple of days. He came back to me. He said, well, how about instead of living, near the water, how about on the water? So I said, okay, tell me more. And he's like, well, we could live on a boat. I said, okay, tell me more. He said, well, we could, being the green type people we are, he said, well, we could live on a sailboat. Okay, so how are we going to go about this? By the way, neither one of us were sailors. The ironic part of the story is that we got married on a sailboat, but that had nothing to do with anything. It was just I wanted a beach wedding, and those are really complicated. And so we ended up getting married on a sailboat. So that's kind of a full circle story there. But anyway, so okay, live on a sailboat. Well, how are we going to make money? He goes, well, if people come down on vacation and stay on our boat, then, we could charge them money to do that and whatever. And so we kind of learned about the charter industry. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So we should go out on a sailboat and see how this goes.
And Nikki, just so we have it, is this the correct website to go to for you?
I'm on my phone, and my phone is really, really, really small.
Okay.
It does look like it says and beyond yacht charters. Woof.
.com.
Yeah, that should be right.
Okay,
so
excellent.
That's what is called a clearinghouse for us. So that's kind of like an agency. So they take their cut, a percentage of our, things. If it
where should they go for you? Like your website?
We don't have our own personal website yet. This is the end of our first season, but our email is soulseeker. So that's SOLSEEKER USVI, as in US Virgin Islands, at gmail.com. So to book directly with us, it would be just email us at soulseekerusvi at gmail.com.
Priscilla has your Facebook page up here.
Yes,
Facebook.com. Okay, excellent. Yeah, great. I just wanted to know.
Soulseeker USVI has a Facebook and Instagram. You can follow us there. And then also, you can see the boat and read all the specs of the boat and all that on the And Beyond website. Just to kind of get an idea and see a picture of the boat and all that good stuff. But if you want to book, just book directly with us. More of the money ends up in our own pocket, which we appreciate.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. So go ahead. I interrupted you. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. It's late and I'm tired. It's actually after 8 o'clock and I'm usually up before 5 in the morning. So where were we at?
We're talking about, you guys, go ahead.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, so we live on a boat and do this whole thing. So we learned about the charter industry. We went out on a sailboat with some friends just to see if we even liked really being on a sailboat. And then we started taking lessons in Chicago. And so for about a decade, we learned to sail on Lake Michigan. Scott got his captain's license. I got my international sailing license. We both taught sailing out of Monroe and DuSable Harbor in Chicago downtown. And we ran charters, day charters, 3 hours, come out, sail, swim, whatever type of charters in Chicago. And then the goal was to move down here when our son graduated from high school and went off to college. So August, I think 19th, we dropped him off, and 21st, we were here in the USVI this year. So the plan all came together. It was 10 years of perseverance and hard work and all that jazz. But here we are 10 years later, having set the goal and the vision, and we made it happen. And now we have 3 charters left for the season. And we will have completed, I believe it's 24 charters, 24, 25 charters for the season, which is kind of insanity. 15 is like a normal season, 20 is a busy season, and 25 is considered insanity. And we're pushing the 24, 25 charters in our first season. So we've had a very, very successful first season, and we're just thrilled to be here and have this new
and
incredible life.
And like you, Nikki, like me, and like you, we had a vision. We kept on going towards the vision, and one thing after another. Oh my God, is this it? Oh my God, no. Why are we being taken down a notch? And I can't believe it. And the lesson here, everyone, is Nikki doesn't have to get into the story, but there were obstacles in both of our ways. Me moving here to Washington State, you getting the boat, getting the issues with the boat, becoming doing all the tests that you had to do for sailing and doing all that stuff, and Scott becoming a captain and everything else that you had to do. I can do this. I believe in it. I'm living prosperously. I believe in the prosperity of my heart and moving forward. And that's why I'm so inspired from you doing what you set out to do and not giving up on it. And look at what your hard work made.
It's crazy. I had no idea the mountain that we would have to climb to get here. And there's no way to express the amount of frustration and fears and roadblocks and whatever. And I just looked at everyone and said, okay, well, I mean, don't get me wrong. There were the tears and there were the moments that I'm like, what am I doing? What are we doing? But ultimately it's like, okay, this happened. How do we get around this? How do we get around this snow? I can't even tell you, like, getting the loan for the boat. We went through probably about a dozen lenders 3 times, and we were denied and denied and denied and denied. And because it's considered a recreational vehicle, it's not a business, it's not a home. And for us, it's both. But the criteria for it is just very different. So anyway, going through that process, and I tell you, it was literally the very last lender on the 3rd go round. And, Scott was like, I just, we had put in an offer, had an accepted offer. The contract, the timing was expiring the next morning. And that afternoon, he's like, just send the email so that, whatever, we're going to have to shelf this. We'll figure it out later. But like, this must not be the time. And I just said, I just don't know. I just have a feeling about this one. I said, I'm going to give that woman every last minute, and that's fine, because we had to get our earnest money back and cancel by a certain time if we couldn't get the financing. And so I said, just let's wait overnight and see what happened. And that email came in that said we were approved. And I just had to keep reading that email over and over and over, because I didn't believe that it had finally come through. So even just one, seemingly little thing like getting a loan on the boat, which seemed like we should be able to do without a problem, was just a big thing. But it was like, okay, but the next thing, okay, well, this doesn't work. Well, what does? That boat didn't work. Okay, what's the next boat we're going to look at? And just one thing after another.
Right. Priscilla, go ahead. Go ahead. So sorry. Sorry. There's a lot of scammers happening, Nikki, on my end, on YouTube, on TikTok. So we want to get rid of them. So, yep. Anyway, so can everybody see through Nikki's story? This is really about trusting in the universe, trusting that her dream is the prosperity. And it's not, yes, when we think about prosperity, we think about money, but it's the prosperous dream, living your dream, living it with all your heart. And you didn't let that tear you down. I mean, and I'm gonna, because I know Nikki's story, you guys, and then you guys can ask her questions. But and I'd love, if possible, to get a tour of the boat.
We're between charters right now, which means it's like it's crazy. Off charter.
It's okay. It's crazy.
Guest, and oh my goodness, you know what? Go to the And Beyond website, and you can see all the pictures.
Okay, or your Facebook page, because your Facebook page has beautiful pictures of people and the delicious food that you're making, Nikki. Oh my God, delicious food, delicious food. Hi Sharon and Maxine and Doris, good to see you. So Lisa, lovely. I'm so glad that she found me. Thank you. And let's see. Mara, yes, Irma says trust and perseverance. So true. Nikki followed her intention with the boat loan. She sure did. And that's the key, everybody. It's trusting. Thanks, Priscilla. Trusting what you're feeling and doing it. I mean, you moved from a large home to a 2-bedroom apartment to then condensing all that to live on a boat.
Yeah, and I have to tell you guys, we're asked this question all the time. We do not have a land-based home. We live on our boat full time. We got rid of all of our possessions. So we have like 2 boxes at Scott's sister's house of pictures and a few memorabilia things we couldn't really get rid of. And we have a suitcase in case we need to come back for a wedding or funeral, the whole outfit set up, and that's it. And that's it. What we have is on the boat, and that's not much. We got rid of everything, moved down here in a few boxes and a few suitcases, and that's it. So we're all
barking on the truth.
We don't have the backup plan and stuff in storage, and nope, this is it, full in.
And tell people a little bit about the charter, the vacation, the charter. What does it all consist of?
Sure. So we have a 44-foot catamaran, and so it's a sailing catamaran, meaning it's a sailboat, but it has 2 hulls. So a monohull is more of a traditional sailboat that people think of, and a catamaran has 2 hulls, which makes it really sturdy and stable. And it's very spacious. So it's 4 bedrooms with queen size beds. Each ensuite is ensuite, so it has its own bedroom. It has its own bathroom. With a shower. And then, so 4 bedroom, 4 bathroom, 3 of those are for guests, and 1 is our room that we live in permanently. There's a galley or a kitchen. There's a salon, which is where I'm sitting now. I don't know. I'll give you a quick.
That's nice.
Little scan there. So there's a little salon area. The bar is over there.
And she doesn't mean hair and nails, guys. She doesn't mean hair and nails, just so we know.
Salon is like the dining room, the sitting area inside.
Yeah.
And then there's an outdoor seating area out back, and that's called the cockpit of the boat. So it's a table. It's where you do most of your dining and that kind of thing. There's the helm station. And then if you go out the front, there's actually, okay, fine, I'll take you on a little teeny tiny tour. So you can.
Lori wants to know, do you have any pets on the boat?
Like mess. So you walk out this door here out the front, and then I don't know, it's dark, it's night. If you can see, there's a little seating area there, and then there's a trampoline up. It's called a trampoline. You don't jump on it, but the trampoline up front to sit on, lounge on, that kind of thing. So and then you can go up on top and you can sit or lay up top. We have all the toys, yada, 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 all that. So anyway, that's kind of a little bit about the boat. But what we do is primarily people join us for a week. Currently, the minimum is 4 days because it was our first season. A lot of charter boats end up upping that and just only accepting week-long charters. But so typically, say a week-long vacation, you sleep on the boat, you have your own room, your own bathroom, and then I prepare all the meals. So I start with a fresh plate of fresh cut fruit every morning, and then coffee and tea and whatever you want to drink while you're waiting for your friends or family or whoever else to wake up. Oh yeah, so the boat comfortably sleeps 6 guests because it's the 3 queen beds.
Right.
And then so we'll have up to 6 guests, and then once everyone's awake, then I finish the breakfast preparation, serve breakfast, also serve lunch, an afternoon snack or hors d'oeuvres, or on boats, a lot of times people call them sundowners. As the sun's going down, you're having a snack and having a cocktail, and then have a sit-down dinner for everyone at dinner as well. In the evenings, when it's quieter, people tend to either, I don't know, they might sing and dance on the boat, they might sit around and play games, they might just sit around and talk, you know, whatever the guests feel like doing. So yeah, some people like to jump in the water at night just because, I mean, who knows? I mean, it's your vacation, it's your boat. You basically have a private yacht with a private chef and captain to take you around to wherever you want to go. And believe it or not, it can actually be as affordable or about the same price as going on a cruise ship. But you have your own private boat to take you to all the little coves and stuff that you would never go to on a cruise ship. So
I love that.
really a fun way to really get in touch with yourself, to get reconnected with your family, to build deeper relationships with friends, to have those shared experiences, to go, you know, see that beautiful bright blue fish. Oh my goodness, did you see that lobster? Did you see, you know, all, you know, the turtle? Our son was down here in May and we were swimming along and he knew we were going to go swim and go see some turtles in this one popular cove. And let me edit what he said a little bit, but he turns up, he goes, "Holy bleep, Mom!" He goes, "Did you see that?" And I was like, "What?" When he goes, "The turtle!" I was like, yeah, the turtle. He goes, no, Mom. It was like this big. I can't do the camera.
Right. Yeah, get it. Yeah.
No, and I'm like, yeah. And my brother, they have a little pet turtle at home, and he goes, "I thought it was gonna be like Myrtle." I was like, "No, honey, these are like massive turtles they're just sitting there eating the seagrass. They're not, you know, gonna harm you in any way, shape, or form." But I mean, just that experience. So even for me, being down here, sharing that experience with my son, but parents with their kids or 3 couples will come out, or we've had generational, like parents, grandparents, and their children, you know, so it's like the 2 and 4-year-old, then the parents in their 30s, and then the parents in their 50s came out on the charter. But people, I had a guy one time back on the it's called the Sugar Scoop out back, where he was like, he came to me in tears and hugging me one morning, and he just said, "I found God again." And I was just kind of, I was just listening, and he just said, "I've struggled with my spirituality, and I'm just sitting here with my coffee, watching the fish." And I don't know what moment he had, but it was the moment that he needed to have. And it was really cool to be a part of that process. Or families that have said, you know, we've reconnected and made memories that I never thought we would be this connected again and make these kind of memories together. I thought my family was a little too damaged or we were too disconnected, and we've reconnected in a way. And things like that are just, you know, it's really amazing to be a part of, you know, people's journeys or friends just, you know, goofing off and doing cannonballs off the boat. I mean, whatever it is, whatever you need, it's here. And you're like outdoor living, you're communing with nature, you're watching the fish, you're, you know, watching the sunrise and set. You're doing, really connecting to yourself, to nature, and to the people on the boat. So we're very lucky to be a part of that.
Couple things. First of all, people are saying some great comments. Nikki, they're saying great pics of Chef Nikki's incredible meals on the website. Food looks amazing. You are the chef and the crew, busy all the time. So cool. Maria wants to know, how far does the boat go out, please?
How far does it go out? So we start in St. Thomas because that's where, I think that's what she's asking. Correct me if I'm wrong. The boat really, it can go up to like 12 miles. So we go by knots, but we'll just call it, a knot similar to a mile an hour. So, like 12 miles an hour. So you're not going super fast. So sometimes people will request to go to places. It's like, well, it would take us 5 days to sail there. So, we're not going way down the island chain. So pretty much we stick to and plus other countries and all that. So with guests, we start in St. Thomas because that's where you would fly in. And then we can go around St. Thomas and St. John, more or less. There's some other little islands here, like St. James, like Little St. James, Great St. James. There's other little islands around here, but for the most part, you're around St. Thomas and St. John. There's Water Island. We'll take you to a few different islands, but for the most part, you're not going super large distances. We never really travel more than 3 hours in a day. That's the furthest that we really go as far as, and really maximum you're going 12 miles an hour. For the most part, we're probably going like 6 miles an hour. So you're not moving fast on the boat. We are a sailboat. And so it's one of those things. It's more about the journey, not about how fast you get there.
Exactly. And swimming with a sea turtle would be amazing. Yes. Emmy says, retreat on the sea. I'm working on it. I've been
telling Elias since we came down here, we would love to have Elias and do a specialized boat.
Trust me, it's on my list. Mm-hmm. Nan says, are you going to write a book about your life?
Probably not. Although funny thing is that my husband is a published author. So I don't know. You never know what he's going to do. Me, that's probably not going
to happen. Give her the Greek shove. She might do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I have an interesting life, an interesting story, but I don't know. I don't think I would ever write the story.
Denise says, I've visited Soul Seeker. I can't wait until my next trip.
Denise, we love you. Denise was a great.
So awesome. So awesome. Kat says, sounds heavenly. Yes. We need to work on that. 2 people per cabin. I know. It's good. Does anybody have questions for Nikki? Because guys, again, we're talking about living your prosperous life. And I'm going to ask Nikki a question. I'm not going to keep her the full hour, guys, because she's got to get up early. So, but do you guys have questions for her about the boat, about how did she, Denise says, like somebody else said, life is not a dress rehearsal, you get one take. Yeah, that's true. And, Denise was on, sorry, Denise, you were on YouTube. Thank you. Sorry. And you got on here. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Deanna, hello. Good evening. Thank you for being here. Anybody? Go ahead, honey. Sorry.
Dress rehearsal thing. So I had a very specific and needed specialty in Chicago, and the community had a hard time when I left, and they couldn't believe that I was leaving, and I was kind of given some slack from people about that. But that was kind of what I said in my own way. I just, this is my life, and I have it. At this one life in this form anyway, or I don't know, but I need to do what I need to do for me, and not I've lived my life for other people for a very long time, and I need to do something different. So here I am.
And hi, Susan. And you guys, please follow Susan on TikTok. We'd love to get her to be live too. Susan is a published author as well. And she reads books on TikTok. I mean, like little chapters. So please follow Susan. She's an amazing lady. What was your biggest surprise with doing this?
Oh goodness. I don't know. There's so many. I think so you have to understand, like I grew up doing farm work and I also worked as a trauma interpreter, and which meant I worked 24/7 in emergency work where I was called out all the time. There were times where I didn't make it home for 3 days straight because I was, and taking, sponge baths and bathroom stalls and changing my clothes. I mean, I lived a pretty crazy life, and I've always worked insanely hard. So to me, I was like, I mean, they're like, well, it's really hard work. I'm like, yeah, no, that's fine. I know hard work. What I didn't understand was that this was going to be the hardest work I ever did in my life. So it's very rewarding. And at the same time, it's also, it's hard work. So I cook for 8 people multiple times a day. And then, getting toys in and out of the water, paddle boards and kayaks and the snorkel gear and the this and that and the other, and getting people between harbors. And it's kind of a nonstop sort of job. So I think that that surprised me, that it was just like, I know hard work, but it's like, oh yeah, this is really hard work. So I
But
think that,
everything you've done, Nikki, up to this point has prepared you for this. Your
for sure.
organizational skills, your communication skills, your food, and not to, tell all of Nikki's secrets, but her food issues and, preparing food and all these pieces come together to bring you who you are today. Betty wanted to know how old when you got the yacht. Well, Betty, guess what the answer is? Go ahead, tell her.
How old was I? Oh goodness, I think, am I wrong? I think I'll be 48 this in a few months, and we moved down here in August of last year, and we bought the boat the November before that. So what would I have been, 40, just had turned 46, something like that.
So
Yeah,
less
whatever.
than 2 years, guys. Less than 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Emmy says, Nikki, how did you use your intuition as you followed your dream? Great question.
That is a great question. Oh boy. So I used my intuition, and I wasn't always 100% correct. I will say that. Um, but for the most part, so buying a boat is very different than buying a car or a house. There's only so many of them made. Have they been hurricane damaged? Where in the world is it? Is it in your price range? What's wrong with it? What needs to be done? What upgrades have been done? All that stuff. So I think following intuition on that, the first boat that we were going to buy and that we had our heart set on, and I walked in, and I didn't even have to know anything else. But I had to. I'm a very in-person, energetic person. And the second I saw the boat from the shore, I was like, I stepped onto the boat and I'm like, nope, this isn't the one. And then I stepped inside. I mean, we traveled to Florida for this during COVID, drove down there. So I had to give it a little bit more, but I think we spent 20 minutes on the boat, half hour, I don't know. And the whole time I'm like, nope, 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 not the one. So, I mean, there were definitely things like that. For the most part, I trusted some people that I shouldn't have. But for the most part, the people in the industry that I've trusted, and I've felt like, okay, well, this is who's going to be the right person to ask. Or we kind of have mentors in a way, unofficial mentors, but people that we've trusted in and who have really helped guide us down here. And we're just super thankful for them. And because there's no handbook about how to do a charter business, it's a very, I don't know. There's just no handbook on it. It's you have to figure it out. And everyone makes their mistakes and their blurps along the way. And some of the people that we've met along the way, our clearinghouse and beyond, they absolutely, their philosophy is to go above and beyond, and they do. And we're so grateful that we found them, and following them and getting into their business as a part of their business as our clearinghouse. And like I said, that's kind of like an agency, was the best decision we could have ever made. So they've been wonderful. So there have been a lot of intuitive things along the way. Sometimes even just in talking with guests, on board, and how those conversations go, and just following intuition, and how, you know, I don't know, guests go through their own stuff, and sometimes they go through their stuff on your boat, and how you react to them or what you say to them makes all the difference in the world.
So true.
And, you know, you can really have an impact on people's lives on board. So it's been nice to be a part of that.
And Lori says, did you get seasick in the beginning? Lori, she had to do the training for the sailing, and her husband Scott, and because you're both captains, no?
So he has his U.S. Coast Guard captain's license. I could have it, but I don't have an extra $8,000 laying around at the moment. And I have my international sailing license. So that's different than the USCG captain's license, you know, as far as technicality goes and
Sure.
stuff. But we can both run the boat, but he has to be on board to legally run it for our current business in the United States. Yeah.
Okay.
In order to charge people, you have to have your captain's license.
Did you get seasick when you were training, or no?
Oh, did I? So yes, when we started in Chicago, I definitely had moments where I would get seasick. And then when we moved down here on the boat, we were in a particular mooring field. So if you ever look out and you see boats that are all lined up perfectly, that's like, it's on a mooring. So it's basically like a permanent anchor, and you connect to it. Anyway, we were on this mooring, and it was in a really rocky bay where ferries roll in and out all the time. And the air conditioning wasn't working at the time. We stayed on the mooring instead of being smart enough to go somewhere else into a quiet bay. And we were busy cleaning and fixing the boat. And there were definitely times that I did not feel well during that. But I will say from my experience that the more that you're on a boat, your body does absolutely get used to it. I know people who will, like, say, come on a week-long trip, and the first day or two they may not feel well, and then they're fine the whole rest of the time. So, and then we have all kinds of tips and tricks to get people through that too. But
so Robin has an interesting question, and guys, we're talking about living your prosperous dream, because, you know, for Nikki and I both, living the dreams and taking the challenges, and I'm sure many of you have done that, where you're like, I don't know, but I keep on being pulled. It is, again, when you say yes to yourself, the universe says yes back. And Nikki and I both firmly believe in that. Robin says, congratulations on your journey. Not to sound negative, but did you have a backup plan if things didn't work to develop your dream? So before, Nikki, you answer that, here's my feeling. If you were to ask me this, Robin, I would say my mom and dad. Did they have a backup plan if they were going to adopt? My mom always said to me, never take no for an answer. I told that to Nikki when Nikki called me up, and she's like, I don't know. I'm like, Nikki, if this is what you want to do, sister, you do it. There is not a no. And I hear you logically. What's the backup plan? Because if this is meant, then everything will align. Nikki, you want to go ahead and answer that?
You have been a great mentor in my life, and have gotten me through so much. And I have to say that absolutely was. And our talks about that are priceless to me. And you are definitely one of the reasons that we are here. I mean, there are other people who have been a part of our journey as well. But Elias, you've been definitely a part of both Scott and my journey. But so just to acknowledge that. But no, we did not have a backup plan. Absolutely did not. If you were on earlier when I said we don't have stuff in storage, we literally sold, donated, gave away, whatever, all of our belongings, except for a couple boxes of mementos and one thing of winter clothing for Chicago. And that's it. We are literally all in financially. We are all in. We got rid of our stuff. There is no backup plan. And I think, you know, when you have a backup plan, I think you tend to fall to the backup. And for me, it needed to be all in. And there really, maybe it seems naive, I don't know, but there just wasn't. And there didn't need to be, because this was going to work out. And I remember people thinking and saying things, it wasn't this mean, but basically like, oh, it's good to have a goal. It's nice to have a dream. or basically like, oh, that's cute. No. And Scott and I, all the time, we would just say, no, this is what we're going to do. And they're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I mean, it's good to have a hobby. And I'm like,
Right.
no, you don't understand. This is what we're going to do. And so being here, it has been really funny to hear people go, I really didn't understand. I couldn't see your vision. I couldn't, all that stuff. Even how the boat's decorated or the type of food I serve or the vision. This is the vision I had. Absolutely 100%. And no one else. It's funny because sometimes even like with like the pillows or the decor stuff, Scott's like, we're doing what? And I'm like, no, this is the vision. Like, this is what we're doing. And he's like, okay, like, I didn't think we were doing all that. And I'm like, no, this is going to be a home away from home. This is a high-end charter. This is what we're doing. And so,
Right.
okay. And then we have the pretty pillows and throw pillows. And it's like, why? Well, it adds a lot of character to it. And it's nice to have an extra pillow around when you need one. I mean, it's as silly as that. But no, all in.
And thank you, Robin. Robin says thank you. It's pushing forward and not letting anything get in the way. I respect that. Yep, like I told you, my mom was 46, my dad was 56. So many people told them they're too old to adopt. And in Greece, why would you want to do it? Funny how the adoption went through in less than 5 months. Less than 5 months, they got everything. They got all the information that they needed. Emmy's cute. She's like, your book title. Sometimes guests go through their stuff on your boat. Hello, Thomas. Good to see you. Denise said, write a handbook. Nikki says, do you get any days in between charters to relax? Also, what is a charter season? I'm going to grab something really quick. So go ahead and answer that for a second.
Okay, sure. The official charter season starts November 1st and ends July 31st. So with that said, that's pretty much it. And the reason is because August, September, and October are considered hurricane season. And most of the boats have to be out of the hurricane belt. And so they go down south near Grenada or Kiriakou, not to be confused with Curacao. But Kiriakou is part of the Grenada Islands. So when you follow the island chain down, it's kind of, you're getting close to South. So that is when the charter season is. And the other question was,
do you get any days between charters to relax?
Well, that's a really good question. So this first season, we literally went financially all in, and the boat needed a lot of repairs and upgrades. So we put all of our money back into the boat, and every charter that came in, we said yes. And that's why instead of 15, which would be normal, 20 busy, 25 insane, we're hitting the insane number this year. So honestly, it was too much. We have kind of burned ourselves out to a certain extent. We have not given ourselves the break. We have not done as much self-care as we've needed to. However, we've made it as, we're successful. We had a successful first year. The boat is repaired. The boat is upgraded. There's always going to be a couple small minor things that need to be done. But for the most part, we're exactly where we need to be. And then next year, our next season, so we're almost to the end of this season. We have 3 charters left. So next season, we are in the position to be able to simply, say no to charters, take weeks off, things like that, which is very much needed. Industry standard is to have 48 hours in a turn, which a turn means the time you drop off guests to the time you pick up your next guest. And basically there needs to be time to clean the outside and inside of the boat, get the laundry done, and, buy all your provisions for the boat. So your food and any supplies. Sometimes minor repairs might sneak in there. We did a lot of 24-hour turns, which is insanity because it's 24 hours of running like crazy and hiring other crews to do the cleaning for the boat and things like that. And pretty much not sleeping in between charters. So we did a lot of those this season. We don't really want to do any next year. And some crews have 4-day turns. They don't accept any, they need, because you're going to be working at least 2 days in between charters. So then it would give you a couple days to actually relax a little bit. So we're still figuring it out, but we don't plan on doing 24. We need 48 to 72 hours between charters so that we can have a little bit more. And then we'll probably plan, like if we see a 5-day, 6-day block, we're probably just going to block our calendar and say, okay, great. We've had a couple charters. Now we're going to block those dates. Otherwise, like a 4-day charter might sneak in there and end up on our calendar. And we're like, oh no, how did that happen? I thought I was going to have that break. But we have because we're self-employed, we have the ability to block our schedule. So, or if we pick up our own charters, meaning, if one of you guys decide to come out with us and then, pay us directly versus through the clearinghouse, then we can just block that time off. It doesn't have to go through the clearinghouse. So that's, one of those nice things that we can block our schedule. But financially this last year, we didn't feel like we had the ability to do that. But going forward, we will be able to. So
Nikki says, thank you. And here's to next charter season for time for you all to rest. Yes, exactly. We have two other questions, but before we do that, guys, next week, next Wednesday, I'm going to be talking about prosperous mindset. And if you are on my email list, in about 15 minutes, I'm going to pick the winner for the free 30-minute reading with me. And you have to be on the email list to be chosen. Also, stay on the email list because next month, there's going to be a contest every month. Next month, I'm going to pick one winner who will win up to 9 people plus themselves for a 1-hour Zoom with me doing mediumship and psychic stuff. So that'll be great. Next month is all about thriving. So please stay tuned. We're going to start off with Jean Tyndall with thriving with crystals. Also, speaking of crystals, after me to end this month on next Wednesday, after me, the 29th, Dawn Silver, some of you Chicagoans may know her. She owned Healing Earth. She'll be talking about prosperity, crystals, and astrology. And speaking of prosperity and being prosperous, I always think of Nikki every time I have this. Nikki actually made this, you guys. And here's the cool thing. When we were on retreat, Nikki brought a lot of her stuff. If you can tell, there's her initials on there. So my ex had this cup. So he wanted this cup. And blue's my favorite color. And I like the handle because, Greek sausage fingers, and I like the handle. And, after we separated things, I'm like, would you mind if I take the cup? Because I use this all the time and I just think it's mine. So I was like, snatch. So I always think of you, Nikki, every time I have tea. I always, and I say a little prayer every time I take a sip. I'm like, God bless you. And I'm so glad you followed your dream. Anita says, where are you going for hurricane season to get out of the hurricane belt? Since you're all in, I'm guessing you're still will be on board.
We will be on board. We will be hauling out in Carriacou this year, which is just north of Grenada, and it's one of the islands owned by Grenada. So it's almost down by South America. It's Carriacou. For most people aren't familiar, I wasn't until I moved down here. Carriacou is a very small little island with absolutely delightful, wonderful people. So that's where we will haul out, but we're going to island hop this year. So we're going to visit some of the other islands in the island chain on the way down. We're actually putting the boat. So as far as time off, so this is kind of, I love my job and I love the boat, but we kind of live for this, a little bit of time off as well. So we're actually going to put the boat on a dock in St. Lucia for a week and get off and go to a resort. So while we're island hopping on the way down, and then while the boat is hauled out on the hard, we are also flying out and taking a vacation in Costa Rica this year. So we just planned those, I think, last week or so, a week or so ago. So we're very excited to be able to actually take some time off and time for ourselves. And I think that's what people don't necessarily realize is you have people in your home and on your boat for charter, and it's 24/7. And then between charters, it's even busier than when you're on charter. So
right.
happens 24 hours a day, and Scott's kind of the late shift and I'm the early shift, so he doesn't get to bed till after midnight every day, and I'm up by 5 o'clock every day. So that's actually been an interesting that's interesting on your marriage when you keep different shifts like that. But anyway, it's a 24/7 gig. So when people are like, wow, but you get 3 months off, well, not really, because you have to take the boat down and you have to do the work, while the boat's out of the water and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to do, but you also have to understand that we have people on our boat 24/7. So it's when we're in off season, we really need that time to, reconnect and rejuvenate ourselves.
Really quick, what about when your intuition tells you to take a leap of faith into the unknown, but you don't have a clear vision of where you'll go? That's the exciting part. That's the journey, Kelly. Wouldn't you agree, Nikki?
Yeah, totally. There's no way I could have known what I would. Yes, I had a vision, and yes, I'm doing the vision, but all the steps along the way, I literally countless leaps of faith, and didn't know exactly where it was going to land or how it was going to happen or what was going to go on. I mean, it just literally every single turn.
And a shameless plug for everyone. In the book that I'm going to be part of with 28 other authors, it's called Own Your Awesome. I will talk about how you shift your mindset and follow your heart's desire, and my journey moving from Chicago here. Many of you know the story, but the craziness, you don't know the detailed craziness that happened time after time after time of getting here. It was. I'm surprised my hair is not white by now. I mean, it is almost there, but more white than it should be. Let's see. Thank you, Priscilla, for doing Nikki's email, her Facebook. Here is if you want to look at the boat and look at that. But if you want to book with Nikki, email her here, soul, SOL seeker at soul seeker, USVI at Gmail. And here's a Facebook. She's got great pictures. The food looks delicious. I was salivating. I was literally salivating. I'm like, when am I going to stay, with you guys? And I'm working on that. Something that Nikki doesn't know, and I'm going to see her reaction in person. So Nikki, Jean Tyndall. Do you remember Jean Tyndall?
Of course.
Okay. Yes. So Jean will be
crystals and all that. Yeah.
Yes. So she's going to be on July 6th. Jean Tyndall and I are going to do my first out of country retreat. We're going to Ecuador.
Fun.
Yeah, we're going to do Ecuador and the retreat.
Do you need
Yeah. Do you need an assistant? Are you free? So the retreat is going to be called Your Volcanic Soul, Blasting Out to Connect to Your Authentic Self.
Nice.
I'm excited about it. So you know how I get. I'm like, oh, and I've got like
your retreats are there's nothing like a retreat with Elias.
Thank you. So I think we answered yes, we did. And of course I try to get off the hour, but you and I have the gift of gab. So anything else you'd like to tell people?
No, I would just encourage you to just, if there's that thing, just take the leap of faith. Just do it. I mean, truly, and that's how we started this whole thing. How did I get into this? Life wasn't exactly what I wanted. And did I know how I was going to get from there to here? Absolutely not. I just knew I wanted something different, and to just keep following your intuition, just keep taking the next step. And that's all we can ever do in life, is just take that next step toward our authentic selves. I've never felt more authentic in my life. I've never been more me. And I'm so grateful that for my journey that led me down this road, because but you can only do it for yourself. You can't leave it up to anybody else. You can't, you just have to just keep listening to your gut, having the right people in your life, having mentors, having guides, getting help where you need it, and just keep figuring it out. I had to take sailing lessons. I had to do, all these different things. I had to figure out my finances. I had to do, you name it, had to do it to get here. But every single piece was worth the step and worth the process. And so, Yeah, whatever that is for you, do it. Take that leap of faith. Have your own prosperous life. Obviously, all of our paths look different.
Right.
But what's your path? And if you don't know your path, that's okay. Keep taking your next step to figure out what your path is. Because, just walking blindly through life like a zombie is sad. It's really sad. I want everybody to figure out what their life passion is and be happy. I, want nothing else in life other than for people to just be happy. And whatever that takes to do it, do it. So.
I would agree with you. Melly says, thank you for sharing your journey with us and we wish you ongoing success. Blessings. Thank you so much.
My pleasure to be
So,
here.
Nikki, just hold that thought for a second. After on air, Mary says, so so inspirational. Thank you. And yes, thank you. Michelle says, thank you. You're welcome, Michelle. Nita says, Nikki, good advice just to take the step. Thank you. Thank you both. It was great to have you on, Nikki. Yeah, and that's why you guys, I wanted Nikki on here. Not only, yes, I believe in people. I believe in their business. I believe in Nikki and Scott, but also because Nikki took the courage to say yes. And when she said yes, even when everyone else told her no, when she said yes, the universe showed little pieces. And then it's like you're digging and you're digging and you're going and you're going. And then that happened. And that's the important thing. That is the important thing. Lori says you gave me courage. Awesome. 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 So, guys, I will be probably on TikTok a little later, just to shake it up. We're going to call it Shake It Up Saturday to give those people like, next question. No, you're not pregnant. No, he doesn't love you. You're watching the hand bounce. Or the best is this one, Nikki, when they do this. No, yes, maybe. I don't know. Okay. Or you'll love this one. When they're on there, they do this. You want a reading? Okay. The potential is yours. When you go ahead and try, you'll find what you need. That's $30, everybody. $30. So I'm there to shake it up. I'm there to tell everybody that they are intuitive and follow their heart. And what do they think? Not what the $30 yes or no psychic medium does. And this is just for Nikki, because she'll love this. And many of you do too. When they're like, well, I want to know if I'm going to get married. I want to know this. I'm like, okay, you know what that feels like? It's like this. I want a pizza. I want a pizza. The pizza. And they're sitting there waiting for the pizza. Pick up the damn phone and order it. You got to take action. That's what Nikki did. Nikki took the bull by the horns and said yes. And even when Scott was maybe a little bit kicking and screaming, took Scott's horns and said, we're doing this, damn it. Nikki, thanks so much for being here. Everybody, I'll be on probably around 9:30, 9:45. My time, it's almost 6 o'clock here. I got to do the drawing. Good luck to the winner. Go to eliaspatras.com, sign up, and for the email list. From our hearts, oops, wrong way. Nikki and mine, from our hearts, we are here to connect. And when we connect, we educate one another. And when we educate, we grow. There's unity in community. Go take a retreat on a charter boat with Nikki, and we'll figure out when we can do a retreat. Nikki, just hold that thought for everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Remember, there is unity in community. From my heart to yours, thank you, everybody. Be well.